Ah, so you've got that entertaining Bible story for me you promised. Yes, sir, I do. Oh, very exciting. So how does this lighthearted escapade start? With 11 brothers deciding to kill one of their own. Oh, very dark. Wasn't this supposed to be a change from the awfulness of every other story you've told me? Oh, it will be, eventually. Probably. I don't know. What's the deal with this intended murder victim? Is he some sort of bad seed that's harming the family? Oh no, it's nothing like that. The problem is this brother, Joseph, tells his family about the dreams he has. What? Dreams? He has dreams and he tells them the dreams. What sort of dreams could inspire murder? Well, these dreams suggest that Joseph may one day be the head of their family. They want to murder their own brother for nothing more than that. Well, it's not just that. Joseph tattled on them once and is the favored son of their father. And he even has a special robe that's colorful even. Dreams, a bad report about his brothers, favored status, and the robe. Did I leave anything out? Nope, that's everything. Oh, a very low threshold for contemplating fratricide. Yeah. So is God going to nip this in the bud? No, he needs it to happen because he has bigger plans for Joseph down the road. Isn't it going to be hard for those plans to be fulfilled if Joseph is marked for death? Oh no, it's going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience. Oh really? You bet, because God is going to constantly allow Joseph to fall into peril only to bail him out every single time. What do you mean? Well, for example, you know how the brothers want to kill Joseph? Right. So rather than killing him and being done with it, they just throw him into an empty well for a few minutes. Oh no, and he dies? No, a spice caravan happens by at just that moment, so they haul him out and sell him to the spice traders. They immediately abandon the murder they had planned? Yep. And then the brothers take some of Joseph's clothes and soak them in goat blood, and then they go back and tell Jacob that Joseph was killed by a wild animal. Very sneaky. So what becomes of Joseph? He's taken to Egypt and sold to Pharaoh's head of household, a man named Potiphar. Oh no. Actually, it's okay because God is with Joseph and makes sure he's successful at everything he does. Well, great. Yeah, Potiphar puts Joseph in charge of his everything he owns. This guy puts a slave in charge of everything he owns. Well, he sees that Joseph has God on his side. How? Unclear. Well, okay then. So it turns out that Potiphar's wife has the hots for Joseph because he's handsome. Oh, so what's going on there? Well, what do you mean? Well, the wife's motivation and character. I mean, is she unhappy in her marriage, or does she have no control over her urges? I just told you, sir, she has the hots for Joseph because he's handsome. All right, I just thought there might be, anything else. Nope. So she just throws herself at Joseph, but he won't sleep with her. Smart move. It is. But the wife frames Joseph and makes Potiphar think he was coming on to her. Oh no. Yeah. So Potiphar throws Joseph into jail. Oh no. Yeah. But it's fine because God is with Joseph and gives him the warden's favor and makes sure he's successful in everything he does. Is something wrong, sir? We just did this. Didn't we just do this? Kind of. I don't know. It feels like stuff is just kind of happening. It is happening. Well, okay then. So Joseph is in prison for a couple of years and he has two cellmates who are having weird dreams. All right. And he correctly interprets these dreams for them. Oh, that's nice. And later, when the Egyptian king is troubled by some dreams of his own, Joseph is summoned to interpret those as well. The Pharaoh of Egypt. Doesn't he consider himself a god? Oh, absolutely. And this god king has some nobody prisoner interpret his most intimate thoughts. Well, he's been told that Joseph's talent in interpreting dreams comes directly from God, the God of the Jews. Yes. Why would an Egyptian god king put any stock into what a Jewish god thinks? No. Maybe the Pharaoh considers the Jewish god one of his peers? Aw, besties. So it turns out that the interpretation of these dreams is a prophecy of 7 years of plenty to be followed by 7 years of famine. Wow, it's going to take 14 years to find out if this prophecy is accurate. It sure will, sir. So Pharaoh immediately makes Joseph his second in command and puts him in charge of Egypt's entire food supply. What? Joseph is now the second most powerful man in all Egypt. That is a shocking turn of events. And entertaining, right? I suppose so. There you go. Are you sure you want to incorporate such a ridiculous plot element into your little story? Oh, absolutely. Because the idea that an Egyptian god king would immediately promote a Jewish prisoner to such exalted status is patently absurd. You realize that. Well, the plot needs it to happen. Well, okay then. So Joseph is put in charge of all infrastructure concerning grain procurement, allocation, accounting, and storage in preparation for the coming famine. And it's been established that he has some expertise in this complex endeavor? No. So 7 years later, the prophesied famine hits all around the world, including the Promised Land. The land that God wants his people to live in isn't spared? Nope. Wow, as promised lands go, that one really does suck. It's not the greatest. So Joseph's brothers, except for the youngest one, Benjamin, all head to Egypt to buy food. Oh boy, here we go. And Joseph's brothers find themselves buying grain directly from Joseph in person, face to face. The second most powerful man in all Egypt is handling grain sales at the retail level? He is. Oh, that is so entertainingly unlikely. Thank you. So the brothers must be shocked to find their discarded little brother right in front of them. Actually, they don't recognize him, but Joseph knows who they are immediately. They don't recognize their own brother. They don't know, but he recognizes them. That's right. Oh, that is so entertainingly convenient. It is. And then there's this whole thing where the brothers are buying grain, and Joseph has some money and some of his own valuables placed in their sacks, only to accuse them later of stealing them. And what's the point of that? I don't know. Fair enough. So then Joseph decides to hold his brother Simeon hostage until his youngest brother Benjamin is brought before him. And what is the point of that? Somehow that's supposed to prove the brothers aren't spies, I decided. Seems rather arbitrary. Well, and isn't Jacob very protective of his youngest remaining son, Benjamin? Exactly. He's Jacob's favorite now, and that's why he wasn't allowed on the initial trip. How are they going to convince Jacob to let his favorite son go on a perilous mission to Egypt? One of the older brothers, Reuben, offers the lives of his own two sons as blood collateral if Benjamin isn't returned to Jacob alive. Wait, what are you saying here? Jacob can murder Reuben's sons if Benjamin doesn't make it back. Let me make sure I've got this right. You're telling me that if Jacob doesn't get his favorite son back from Egypt safely, he can obtain satisfaction by murdering his own grandsons, Reuben's boys? Precisely. This doesn't raise any eyebrows. Oh, not at all. Oh, coping with personal loss by murdering your own grandchildren is tight. I'm sure it would be very healthy, sir. Oh, it feels good to be in touch with my inner barbarian. So, back in Egypt, after falsely accusing his brothers of spying and theft several more times, Joseph finally reveals that it's been him, their brother, all this time. How do they react? Do they try and murder him again? No, they all make up and hug. Oh, that's surprising, given that they wanted to murder him for almost no reason before, but now that he has actually tormented them multiple times, they embrace him with affection? Well, he has power now. So what is the message here? Entertainment. It was entertaining. I guess that's a satisfying explanation. It is, yes, it is very satisfying. So what do you think? Well, it was a series of events, and no one was dying at the end, so I think that's a step in the right direction. I'm glad you liked it. That might be overstating things a bit. Oh, maybe you could punch things up in the next installment. I mean, if a story's going to be a straight-up farce, maybe you could drop a little more razzle-dazzle in there. I think I've got just the thing.